Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning. I am properly audible, Ajay?
Yes, ma'am.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, ma'am.
Who is remaining in the class?
मैम हरी मोहना भी आ रहे हैं मैम
Okay.
1 मिनट में.
So all of you are doing teaching somewhere? Everyone from you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So is the screen visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So today we'll talk about Bayes rule actually, and after that we'll talk about Bayesian decision theory in upcoming class. So today we'll talk about Bayes rule. What is a Bayes rule? And which is actually dependent upon your probability terms. So today we'll look for the decision problems that could be solved by using the probability theories. Okay. So we'll talk about, let's see first how to choose a particular model. Suppose if you want to choose a particular model information, if you have a complete information with you, then we'll go for the Bayes decision theory. And if you have incomplete knowledge, incomplete information about the data, then we usually use supervised or unsupervised learning. So depending upon the parametric and non-parametric approaches, the different kind of model is being chosen. Okay. So if we have the supervised learning and the approach is parametric, then we usually go for the optimal rules and the plug-in rules. If the non-parametric approach is there, then we go for the density estimations, geometric rules, KNN and MLP. And for the unsupervised one, if the parametric approach is there, we use the mixture of the resolving and non-parametric. For that, we have the cluster analysis, hard clusters and soft cluster analysis, and the fuzzy sets, etc. Okay. So today we'll talk about the model information, which is complete to you. Complete means you have all the things with you. You can calculate the probability. You can calculate the discriminant functions. And for that, you can build your own model. Okay. So we'll talk about the very same example that I've already given. the objective of this particular questions from the book of Judah and Peter. In this book, the very first example which is given, that the objective is we have to identify the different kind of fishes. Okay, so whether the fish is salmon and whether the fish is sea bass. Okay, so usually what happened when you want to take a decision, that will dependent upon the parameters. And if you know the parameters, you can take the combinations of the parameters to take the decisions. When we have talked about the decision boundaries, I have given this example to you. Okay, so this is a very first example. Here we have the histogram representing the two fish categorization. The black dark line shows you a salmon fish, and the red lines or the pink, you can say, shows the histogram for your sea bass fishes. Okay, so only the length is drawn here. And if you are taking length as an account, then by selecting a classifier, or by selecting the decision boundary here at the elastic point, it is not actually the appropriate classifier, because it's misclassify lots of the data. Okay, at left hand side we have both the fishes, and at the right hand side we have also both the fishes. So just by looking at the fish length is not an appropriate attribute to take a decision. Okay, so to modify the search, we have taken lightness into the account. Then lightness somehow will give you a kind of appropriate classification, but it is also feasible that some data is misclassified. If you look at the X asterisk dashed line, this is a boundary line which separates one fish data to other fish data, and salmon and fish bass data is separated from this X asterisk line, and that is your decision boundary. Okay, so sometimes what happen, if you look at the data, the some part of the pink graph is already available at the salmon section, and one part of the diagram is one part of the histograms, or some part is available on the sea bass section. So it's being recommended that you take the combinations of attributes to decide the decision boundary. Okay, so here the two attributes has been taken in account, and these are width and the lightness. So lightness is one of the attributes which are separating. In collaboration with you can draw the points. Okay, so here what we are drawing, here we are drawing the histograms because we are just taking the number of the fishes into the account. Okay, so based upon the lightness, so we're taking the how many fishes have this much length and how many fishes has this much length. Okay, now we are taking another attribute. So now for corresponding lightness value, there is a kind of width value also. Okay, for a particular fish, a single point, if you look at any single point, what you find, you will find a lightness value as well as the width value. So a combination of two inputs are given. One is lightness and one is width. So based upon these two inputs, all the plots can be drawn, and these plots are separated from a decision boundary, and that is line boundary, which are separating the data from one part to another part. Still, you can see there some pink dots are available in the salmon section, and some black dots are available in the sea bass section, and these are kind of errors. Okay, so there are still some error, but the classification is now somewhat very optimal, and we can select it. Okay, so for this particular example, we are going to solve this example by using the Bayes rule. How we solve by using the Bayes rule? For that purpose, we are working with the probabilities. Okay, so initially we have the state of nature. The state of nature is basically the a priori probabilities. Okay, so if you don't know anything and you have to observe a data. Okay, so based upon the a priori probability, we can give an answer like that. Suppose if you have an observation like which after every 5 fishes, the next fish on the conveyor belt is the salmon fish. So this is a kind of observations, or you can say a priori probabilities, because you are not considering any type of measurements. You are not considering lightness, width, or the length of the fish. Nothing observation is being considered. It is just an abstract way. Here you know the a priori probabilities, and how we denote the a priori probabilities by capital P. Okay, so capital P W1 is the probability for a priori probability for the fish salmon, and capital P W2 is a priori probability for the next fish, that is a sea bass fish. If these two probabilities are equal, we can say these are the uniform priors. Okay, so it could be possible that 50% is the case that next probability, the next fish will arrive here, be a sea bass fish or be the salmon fish. So you can say the probabilities are equal to each other because you don't know anything. You are just taking the abstract decision based upon the a priori algorithm or a priori probabilities. And usually when we're taking the sum of the probabilities, it will result into 1. Okay, so summation of the a priori probability of W1 and the summation of the a priori probability of W2 is equal to 1. It shows that it is exclusive and exhaustive. Okay, so they are mutually exclusive to each other. Either the fish is salmon or the fish is sea bass, and the combination of both the probability will result into 1. Okay, so is this clear to everyone? What is a priori probabilities? This is basically the information which are priorly known to you. It is clear? You guys are not replying.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So on the very first case, when you are applying the Bayes rule, you first analyze the a priori probabilities. Okay. So based upon the a priori probability, if some of the part, like if there is a 2-class classification, so obviously what we are doing here, we are classifying into 2 classes. Either fish is sea bass or either the fish is salmon. Okay. So no other case is feasible. So we have the 2 probabilities, two a priori probabilities, and the one who has higher value, which is the particular class it belongs. So decision is depend upon, we have to choose W1 if the PW1 is greater than PW2. Okay, so if the prior information is higher for first fish, then the second fish, then we decide the class level as the W1. Okay, and otherwise we select W2. Okay, so this is a basic rule. This is a Bayes decision rule, which is based upon only prior information. So this is very first rule, which is based upon only the prior information. You know nothing. You are not considering any type of attribute for taking the decision. What decision you are taking? Your decision just depend upon the prior knowledge, and that prior knowledge is represented by the a priori probabilities. So if the a priori probability is higher for the W1, so we select W1, otherwise we select W2. And the error rate should be the minimum of W1 and W2, which results in the error value should be minimum 1. So suppose now we have the now इसको एक और simple examples अगर आप समझें तो it's like that. Suppose if you have to decide, you are working with the medical data and you have to decide a particular person is suffering from a particular disease or not. Okay, so you have to analyze this thing. Or much simpler way, you can say a person is healthy or the person is ill. Okay, so if you want to take a decision, so just by looking at that a person is having fever, headache, we cannot decide that he has a typhoid or not. Okay, but he's suffering from typhoid or not, because for that, to analyze the concrete decision, you have to do some blood tests. For that, you must have a blood reports for that, on the basis of which you can analyze it. So this is like the very same, that based upon the prior information. So this is our prior information that he is having the headache, he is having the fever. So it might be possible that he is suffering from the typhoid, but it may be the case, it may not be the case. Okay, दोनों चीजें possible है कि वो ऐसा हो भी सकता है और नहीं भी हो सकता है. But to take the exact decision, what you need to do? You need to do a proper checkup for that, and then you can take an appropriate decision. Here the same case lies. Here you have decided the whether the fish is sea bass and salmon based upon your prior knowledge, but this is not the actual result. So to come to the actual result, what we need to do, we need to do the measurement, or we have to take in account certain features. Okay, ये clear है ये बात आप लोगों को? Is it clear?
मैम ये क्लियर है, लेकिन ये एरर रेट वाला नहीं समझ में आया मैम. दिस इज मिनिमम ऑफ द प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ फर्स्ट और द
Minimum of
सेकंड.
the probability is like to calculate the error rate, we'll take the integration here. I have not shown in this slide what we are doing. We are integrating with respect to the given range. And when we are integrating, those integration, if it comes to the minimum of that, then this is called the error rate. Okay. So some mathematics are here, but I have not shown that in this slide. Okay. So up till now, you can see that whatever be the two probabilities, the error should be the minimum of any of the two. Okay. So which one occurring into the minimum error rate, that could be selected. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Now the thing is that I'm talking about that you have to consider certain attribute also to take the decision. And that attribute are called the measurement relative to the pattern. Okay. So we have certain pattern, like here we are taking the decision on a priori. Now we are considering certain patterns or the features to support our answers. Okay. And that additional component is denoted by your class conditional probability density. Okay. So now the one additional component is added, and that component is your class conditional probability density function. Okay. So how we calculate the class conditional probability density function? It is just a value of observation to classify X. Okay. So it is the value of the observation to classify X. Suppose X is your particular feature. So what we are measuring? We are measuring the X given the class W1. Then second thing is we are measuring the X given that the class is W2. So it describes the difference in the lightness feature between the population of sea bass and salmon. It's like that. For class 1, you are observing that same feature, and for class 2, you are observing the same feature. Okay, for different fishes. So because for sea bass fish, there is a lightness value, and for salmon fish, there is a lightness value. And depending upon the lightness value, they are belonging to different classes, either to W1 class or to the W2 classes. So this is our class conditional probability density functions. Okay. So this is the curve which shows your class conditional density curves. One is shown by W2 and one is shown by W1. The black graph is for sea bass and the W2 is for the salmon fish. Here you can see it's a difference between the lightness function for both the fishes. Okay. So what we are taking, we are measuring the relative patterns. Okay. And we are combining this observation with the a priori informations. Now we have two terms into account. That two terms are basically, the one is the class conditional density function and the other one is a priori probability. So we are considering these two terms to give a Bayes decision rule. And the class conditional probability term is also known as your likelihood. Okay. So we are considering the maximum likelihood decision rule, and it is denoted by P such that there is W1 class and P X such that there is W2. So if the class density function is higher for a particular class, we'll choose that class. So here the equality condition is given. If Px omega 1 is greater than Px omega 2. So we select omega 1 because here the class conditional density of W1 is higher in comparison to W2. Okay. So now we are what we are going to do? We are combining these two values, likelihood value an A prior probability value. So for combining this, we calculate the posteriori probabilities. So what is the posterior probability? It's a product of your likelihood as well as your A prior probability functions. Okay. So what we can represent here, the probability of WJX, this represent your posterior probabilities. That could be represented as WJX into PX. That can also be represented at PXWJ. If you look at small PXWJ, this is class conditional probability multiplied by your A priori probability. Capital P within the bracket WJ is your A priori probability. Okay, so this is the Bayes rule where you are doing the multiplication of likelihood and multiplication of likelihood with the A priori probability. So if you look at the formula of Bayes rule, we have a product of likelihood and A priori probability and divided by small px. This small px is your evidence. Okay, so this evidence are basically a scale factor. It has nothing to do with the decision making. This is only used to guarantee that all the sum of posterior probabilities should be 1. Okay, so you will consider, because PWJX is, you are considering different classes and you are computing different posterior probabilities. The sum should be 1. So that's why the evidence factor is also used. Otherwise, the formula will remain only this one. The likelihood multiplied by your A priori probability divided by PX. Okay. So here you are looking at how we calculate the PX value. The PX can be just the summation of all the class conditional probabilities with your A priori probabilities. So we can calculate the PX, the probability of a particular feature that can be taken by the summations of these products. So it is clear to everyone how we are calculating this.
Yes, ma'am.
मैम कंफ्यूज हो गए प्रोबेबिलिटी में.
What are you saying?
मैम कंफ्यूजन हो गया प्रोबेबिलिटी में पोस्टीरियर और प्रायरी, ये जो वर्ड है ना.
So we'll take a quick recap for that. So where we have started from this point. If you look at this point, it is denoted by capital P. So initially the A priori, we start any problem with the A priori. What is the prior information is known to us. Okay, so it is denoted by capital P and within the bracket the name of the class functions. So here only 2 classes. So we have W1 and W2. But usually what we can have a number of classes, because here you are classifying only whether the fish is sea bass or the salmon. So we have 2 classes, W1 and W2. Actually what happened, we have capital P and within the bracket WJ. Okay, so WJ will represent any number of prior informations which is possible for different classes. Is this point is clear? What is a prior?
This point is clear. We are getting P of omega 1 equal to P of omega 2. तो ये जो हमने कैलकुलेट किया है, ये हमने मतलब उसी क्लास लेवल जो हमारा सलमन है, यस नो उसी से कैलकुलेट किया होगा.
मैं आपको बता, 1 मिनट बताती हूँ. हाँ, आप रिपीट कीजिएगा क्वेश्चन, क्या कह रहे थे आप?
मैम मैं ये क्वेश्चन पूछ रहा था कि जैसे सलमन है या नहीं है, यही तो डिसीजन हमें करना था उसमें जो हमारा हाँ, तो उस डिसीजन को करने के लिए वो जो हमारा वाई लेवल था, एक तो एक्स लेवल हो गया जो उसके फीचर्स रहे, एक वाई लेवल है, तो ये वाई लेवल का ही प्रेजेंटेशन है हमारा.
नहीं, ये वाई लेवल का रिप्रेजेंटेशन नहीं है, ये एक उससे पहले का पार्ट है. ठीक है, वहां पे जो रिप्रेजेंटेशन ये थे वो तो हमने सिर्फ डिसीजन बाउंड्रीज को फाइंड आउट करने के लिए थे. आप उससे कंफ्यूज मत हुए. दिस इज अ प्रोबेबिलिटी थ्योरी. ठीक है, प्रोबेबिलिटी थ्योरी क्या होती है, हमारी टोटल नंबर ऑफ ऑब्जर्वेशंस होते हैं. जैसे वो एक कॉइन वाला एग्जांपल है कि प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ गेटिंग योर हेड एंड टेल्स, ठीक है. So suppose if you are having the 5 observations and the probability of getting heads and tail is 50-50%. If you just toss the coin, then what happened? You can either get head or either get the tail. So the probability is 1/2 in that case.
1/2. 0.50.
The same case is here. Here what we are talking about, we are not talking about any of the attribute here in this point. We are talking about a priori probability, that what informations we are priorly having. Okay, so probability, a priori probability is high or it's low. Okay, so suppose you are working in the fish area, like so many times you are working with that, so you can recognize in a particular area will get this type of fish only. So probability of that particular fish will be high at that time. Okay, so it is
Okay.
like that. We are not considering any attribute to decide the a priori probability. It's just a prior information. Clear है ये चीज आपको?
Okay, ma'am. Now it's clear.
हाँ. तो अभी हमने ये कहा कि अभी हमने कोई मेजरमेंट कंसीडर नहीं किया, तो वी आर जस्ट टेकिंग द डिसीजन बेस्ड अपॉन योर ए प्रायरी प्रोबेबिलिटी. इफ ए प्रायरी प्रोबेबिलिटी इज हाई, we'll select that class. If it is low, then we select the another class. So this is the first Bayes rule that I'm talking about, which is only depends upon the probability values. If p omega 1 is high, we select omega 1. If p w बोल देती हूँ, like if pw1 is lower, then we select the w2. Okay. इसके बाद जो है वो नेक्स्ट टाइम हमने एक और टर्म कंसीडर किया, एंड दैट इज द एट्रीब्यूट टर्म, बिकॉज जस्ट डिसाइडिंग बाय प्रायर नॉलेज इज नॉट सफिशिएंट, बिकॉज डिसीजन वो ट्रू भी हो सकता था और फॉल्स भी हो सकता था. तो हमने क्या किया, उसमें एक और चीज ऐड करी है, एंड दैट न्यू थिंग इज द ऑब्जर्वेशंस ऑफ द एट्रीब्यूट्स. ओके, और उसको हम इस टर्म में बोलते हैं द मेजरमेंट ऑफ द रिलेटिव पैटर्न, कि जो आपके पास पैटर्न्स अवेलेबल हैं, जो एट्रीब्यूट्स अवेलेबल हैं, अब हम उसको भी मेजर करेंगे. ठीक है, तो वो जो मेजर्स हमने इंक्लूड करना था उसको हम डिनोट करते हैं क्लास कंडीशनल प्रोबेबिलिटी डेंसिटी फंक्शंस के थ्रू. ओके, सो अब क्या है, क्लास कंडीशनल प्रोबेबिलिटी डेंसिटी फंक्शंस जो है वो डिनोट किया जाता है कि x बार ओमेगा 1 जो यहाँ पे लिखा है, इट मींस दैट द प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ गेटिंग अ पर्टिकुलर फीचर x गिविंग द क्लास w1. Okay, so ये हमारा
now it's clear. This x is related to the features.
X is your feature that you are calculating, and it is related to your class 1. Okay, so now we are calculating the features also, and then in the Bayes rule what is going on, we are calculating the posteriori probability. That objective is very same, that you have to decide whether it is belongs to class 1 or class 2. Now to take the appropriate decision, we are taking the combination of these two. Okay, the one is likelihood. So class conditional probabilities are related with your likelihood, and a priori probabilities. You take the product, and this product is known as your posteriori probabilities. Okay. So we are here. Here what we are calculating, we are finding out which class. So wj is which class we are calculating. ठीक है, by giving x. तो हमें क्या होगा, इस टाइम पे हमारे पास मेजरमेंट की वैल्यू होगी, मतलब हमारे पास जो इनपुट डेटा होगा, मतलब जो टेस्ट डेटा होगा, वहां पे वो पर्टिकुलर फीचर की वैल्यू अवेलेबल होगी हमारे पास, और हमें क्या प्रेडिक्ट करना है, क्लास प्रेडिक्ट करना है इस टाइम पे. ठीक है, तो कैपिटल P W डैश बार x का क्या मतलब है, यू आर प्रेडिक्टिंग द प्रोबेबिलिटीज ऑफ wj, की मतलब कौन सा क्लास है, बाय गिवन x. तो गिविंग कोई भी x वैल्यू होगी उसके लिए हम wj प्रेडिक्ट कर रहे हैं. और प्रेडिक्ट कैसे कर रहे हैं, वो प्रेडिक्ट कर रहे हैं डिपेंडिंग अपॉन योर लाइक्लीहुड फंक्शन एंड योर ए प्रायरी प्रोबेबिलिटीज. तो इन दोनों का प्रोडक्ट है. ठीक है, तो ये दोनों का जो प्रोडक्ट है वो डिसाइड करेगा कि अगर ये प्रोडक्ट हाई है तो विल बिलोंग टू क्लास 1, अगर लो है तो वो सेकंड क्लास को बिलोंग करेगा. इसमें एक और टर्म ऐड किया है, इफ यू लुक एट दिस पर्टिकुलर इक्वेशन, दैट इज अ डिवीजन बाय स्मॉल px. Okay, so that is nothing, it is just a scaling factor. Why we are using the small px? It will guarantee that all the probabilities that you are, posterior probability that you are calculating, okay, the sum of these all posterior probability should be 1. Okay, that's why this evidence factor is used here. So this is the formula for calculating the posterior probability. Now you have all the posterior probability. So where the posterior probability is high, will have the new data will goes for that particular class. Okay.
Okay, thank
So
you.
like this is a diagram. This is a posterior probability diagram for PW1 and PW2. If you look at PW1 is 2 by 3. So this is our a priori probabilities. Like for getting the W1 is we have the 2 by 3 and we have P is equals to W2 is 1 by 3. So suppose you have 3 different observations, like 2 times you are getting the class W1 and 1 time you are getting the class W2. Okay. So this is the a priori probabilities. Now similarly, you have the values of X also. So value of X is 40. So you just take the multiplication and then you will get the value of your posterior probability, and that comes out to be 0.08 and 0.92, and the sum of these two values is 1. 0.08 and 0.92 is equal to 1. So you will get the higher the posterior probability for W1. So we'll set the next value that we are observing will lie with the W1. So in this way, you can decide the partitioning of your data. PW1X is the probability of the state of nature being W1 given that the feature value X has been observed. So this is your posterior probability. After this diagram, we'll get W1 by giving any X feature. So what is our input feature for test data? Is this X feature, and we are calculating that the result is W1. So this is also called optimal Bayes decision rule. So if the posterior probability of W1 is greater than the posterior probability of W2, so we take W1. And if the W1 probability, posterior probability of W1 is less in comparison to W2, then we decide W2. Similarly, we can represent the error terms also. Okay. So if the error is probability of error in terms to X, then we decide W2, and error terms, because error are inversely proportional to what is the decision. So if error is high, then we'll decide the other class, and if error is low, then we decide the same class. Okay. One more, and this is the same, that the error should be minimum either of the posterior probability you are selecting, the error should be minimum. So these are the optimal Bayes rule. The posterior probability, if you want to select the W1, the posterior probability should be higher in comparison to the other one. And what are the special cases? There is only 2 special cases, because suppose you have 2 a priori probabilities that is equal to each other. Like we don't have any prior knowledge. Then it is actually depend upon your class density function. So it is only depend upon your likelihood or whatever you are measuring. Okay. And suppose if your class density functions are equal, like whatever you are, suppose lightness value you are measuring and this is equal, then it is only depend upon your a priori probabilities. So this is how the Bayes rule can be modified, because in the special case, like in the first case, the a priori probabilities are equal, then the decision is depend upon the class density function. And if the class density functions are equal, then the decision is based upon only a priori probabilities. And in all the cases, whenever the probability value is high, we'll select only those classes, and wherever the value is low, we'll neglect that class. So it's very simple, and the calculation is also very simple. Here what we are doing, we are just considering the a priori probabilities, then we are considering the class density functions, and we are just taking the product of these two to calculate the posterior probabilities. And then we compare the posterior probabilities of different classes. If it is high, we select the class 1. If it is low, we select the class 2. Okay, so in this way, we can we can judge the which class level the new data will belongs. Okay, so this is about your base rule. Then we'll talk about the continuous values also. So a bit mathematics is also involved. Please आप लोग इससे go through हो जाइएगा और ताकि जो next derivations है वो भी आपको clear हो जाए, है ना? और आपकी जो आज आफ्टरनून में क्लास है वो नहीं होगी, मेरी कोई मीटिंग है उस टाइम पर, तो मैं जो भी नेक्स्ट क्लास होगी उसके लिए मैं आपको अलग से जूम मीटिंग का लिंक शेयर कर दूंगी. So I need 2 more classes to complete your this unit. So maybe tomorrow or on Saturday I will send a link. ये इतना क्लियर है ना आप सबको what is the base rule?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
ठीक है, आप लोग इसको एक बार प्लीज वो जो मैंने आपको बुक का सॉफ्ट कॉपी सेंड करी है ना उसको जो है क्या कहते हैं आप लोग जरूर एक बार उसको रीड आउट कर लेंगे तो अच्छा रहेगा आगे के लिए भी, क्योंकि नेक्स्ट टाइम वी विल टॉक अबाउट डिस्क्रिमिनेंट फंक्शंस, है ना, तो बेस रूल क्लियर होना चाहिए उसके लिए.
Okay, ma'am.
थैंक यू.